Okay, we'll get started. Welcome to Wednesday, welcome to our Power Hour. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. As I said, if you're not there already, we're going to start in child's pose today. So knees apart, toes together, and relaxing down. Really feeling yourself soften towards the earth. It's quite a nice restorative pose, child's pose. So releasing around the hips, releasing around the neck, the shoulders, just letting everything melt down. And it's a really good pose to start kind of feeling your breath, listening to your breath. So really using this opportunity to bring your focus inwards, to bring your awareness to your breathing. Not necessarily changing your breath, we'll just keep our breath nice and natural. You're kind of providing yourself with a little cocoon. So it's quite nice just to become quite insular there. I'm just going to stay sat up while I'm talking, so you guys remain down in your child's pose. Today we're focusing a lot on the back line of the body. So the back line of the body includes the soles of your feet, the back of your legs, all the way through your glutes, your back, and the back of your shoulders, the back of your arms. Lengthening, strengthening, all kind of across that line, but particularly focusing on our spine. So we'll be doing quite a bit of spinal movement today, and that involves kind of side stretches, slight twists, curving your spine. Our spine can move in so many different ways. So we're going to be doing a little bit of everything to do with your spine today. Really, really, really important to keep a nice, healthy, strong, flexible spine. So yeah, if you do have any back pain, lower back pain, or kind of tension in your back, it should be hopefully quite good for it. But saying that, please be mindful if you do have any back niggles, if you do have any problems with your back, then yeah, just be careful. If twisting, for instance, and Marta, you as well, maybe don't come into a full twist, maybe just a little mini twist, or you can always just keep facing forward and just really concentrate on engaging your core. Again, very important to keep your core engaged when we're working on our back, in back bends, or kind of any back movement to keep our spine supported. So just being mindful of all of that as we go through. As always, resting when you need, taking a slightly slower pace today, but maybe a bit more flowy, holding poses for a bit longer. So yeah, enjoy. As always, let's focus on our breathing, keeping our breathing slow and steady, and remembering just to breathe. When we are holding poses for longer, quite often we forget to breathe and we find ourselves holding our breath. So if that happens, that's absolutely, well, it's not fine, but just breathe again. So being mindful of our breath the whole way through. Speaking of which, let's start to take some nice deep breaths in our child pose. So really filling the belly, filling the lungs, feeling your rib cage expand, kind of sideways, lengthways, front to back, and then squeezing all the air out as we exhale. So really softening down with your exhale. And finding kind of length and space and energy with your inhale. And then letting the breath return to normal, we'll just walk the hands over to the left-hand side of the mat. So coming into a nice gentle side stretch down the right-hand side of your body. Trying to keep your chest, keep your head low, so still melting the chest down towards the floor. And then walking the hands back through center. Coming back through center. We're going to walk our hands back towards our knees. So slowly bringing yourself up to a kneeling position. Still keeping our knees wide, toes together. Let's take a nice big inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, bringing our hands into our prayer position in front of our chest. Clasping the fingers, we're going to do this kind of arm movement quite a lot during this class, so you'll get used to it. Clasping the hands, pushing the palms out in front of us. So keeping our spine nice and tall. And then inhale, reaching the arms up high, relaxing the shoulders, so pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And then bringing the arms outstretched all the way down and wide, clasping the hands behind us. And this time maybe coming into a little back bend, taking our gaze up towards the sky, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Releasing the hands, taking a big inhale, straightening up the spine again. Hands come back to our prayer position. Clasping the hands the other way, same again, pushing out in front. Inhaling up to center. Releasing, coming all the way down, clasping the hands behind us, clasping the other way if we can, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then kind of pulling the hands down and away from you. So coming into a little back bend, releasing the hands, sweeping them up, back down to our prayer. We'll do that two more times, one with each clasp. So back to our normal clasp, pushing the hands away from us. Feeling a bit of a stretch across the back of the shoulders. Inhaling up to center. And then releasing the hands, stretching the arms nice and wide, coming, clasping behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together, hands reach back and away, little mini back bend. Releasing the hands, reaching up high. Back into our prayer position, clasping the other way, pushing the hands out, finding that stretch across the back of the shoulders. As we inhale, lifting up to the sky. And then nice and wide. Hands come down, clasping behind us. I shouldn't have been facing you all this time. Releasing the hands. Inhale up to the sky, back to our prayer position. We're just going to drop the hips over to the right hand side and bring our right foot just so it's kind of resting on just next to our left thigh. If this is uncomfortable for you for whatever reason, we can just stay kneeling, that's fine. Our left sit bone will probably raise up, that's fine. Just have the intention of trying to kind of rest that sit bone down on the ground. And actually, the longer we stay here, you might find it just settles down. So as we inhale, reaching up. As we exhale, we're going to twist over to the right. So the left hand comes to the top of the right knee and the right hand just comes behind us. So coming into our twist, lengthening through the spine. So finding that kind of height through the crown of your head. As we inhale, reaching back up to center. As we exhale, this time placing the left hand down beside you, coming into a side stretch. Right arm up and over. We're going to do this a few times. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale into our twist. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, side stretch. Inhale, twist. Inhale, side stretch as we exhale. One more, inhale up into our twist. Inhale up to center. This time we're going to drop our left hand down, and then as we reach up, lifting up our hips, come into our side stretch. So you can feel a stretch all down the front of your body. And relax down. Bringing the hands in front of us, just windscreen wiping the lower part of our legs over to the other side. So this time our left foot's kind of on our right thigh and our right toes are pointing back and away from us. So we're doing all that on the other side. Inhaling up. Exhaling, twisting over to the left, so the right hand is on top of the left thigh. Inhaling up to center. Exhaling into your side stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Side stretch. Inhale. Twist. Inhale, center. Side stretch. Inhale. Twist. Inhale. This time bringing the hand down, lifting up the hips, coming into our side stretch, maybe finding an opening across the front of the body, the front of the hips. Breathing here. And then lowering down. Good. Bringing our hands out in front of us, we'll come through to all fours. So just bringing our knees underneath our hips. Toes pointing backwards, coming into our cat-cow. So as we inhale, looking forward, belly dips down, and as we exhale, pushing up towards the sky. And really taking your time with this move. Don't worry too much if you're not doing kind of one breath per movement, that's fine. Just trying to make the movement as slow, as deliberate as you can, so really feeling each part of your spine curve both ways. And then we can maybe take some moves from side to side as well. So left shoulder to left hip, and then right shoulder to right hip. And then just kind of moving however you need to, going around in little circles, or we can just stay with the traditional cat-cow, whatever feels good for your back. Okay, finding our neutral spine when you are ready, just finishing off wherever you are. So pulling our belly button back towards our spine, engaging our core, pushing up through the hands, so broadening across the tops of the shoulders, across the backs of the shoulders, sorry, and really pushing down through the legs. So we really want to feel like we're pushing the floor away from us. Nice, strong, neutral pose here. Reaching out our right arm and left leg, so just sliding them along the mat first of all, tucking that left toe under, palm facing inwards on the right hand, and then slowly lifting both arm and leg up to shoulder height, hip height, keeping strong through the core, and then slowly lowering down. And again, raising up, lowering down, raising up, lowering down, raising up. We're going to leave the left leg where it is, bring the right hand back underneath the right shoulder. We're going to point the toe of that left leg, and then taking some kind of elongated cat-cows. So as we inhale, we're going to dip the belly and then lift up that leg up and away behind us as we take our gaze forward. And then as we exhale, bringing the left knee into the chest. Inhale, reaching up and away. Exhale, crunching the knee into the chest. Inhale. And exhale, squeezing it in. One more time. Exhale, squeezing it in. This time as we extend our leg out, really pointing that foot up and away. We're going to take 5 press ups. So squeezing the elbows in, lowering the chest down and up. Taking 5 in your own time. It does not matter how far down you come, just building up that upper body strength. When you have done your 5, we're going to squeeze that knee back into the chest and then release that leg down to the mat. Just realigning, re-engaging our core, making sure our knees are hip width apart, strong through the spine. On the other side, so let's reach out that right leg and left hand. When we are ready, inhaling as we come up, exhaling to come down. Nice and slow, strong movements. Try not to let your lower back dip here, so nice engagement through the lower back. Next time you have your arm and leg elevated, bringing our left hand down, keeping our right leg up in the air, pointing the toe, and then kind of dipping into the belly, looking forward, reaching that right leg up and away from you. Exhale as we squeeze the knee into the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, already reaching back with those toes. Exhale, squeezing the knee in as high as you can. Inhale. And the next time we take an inhale and the legs extended back, keeping that leg nice and strong, really reaching away with the toes, taking our 5 press-ups, squeezing the elbows in, so elbows, wrists, shoulders all aligned. Keeping that leg nice and high. When you are done with your 5 press-ups, squeezing that knee in one last time, and then coming back to all 4s. Good. Tucking the toes under. Shifting the weight just back into our heels, so pushing with your hands, so your hips come to meet your heels, and just finding a little stretch through the soles of your feet. Kind of stretching into the toes, working into the balls of the feet. And then slowly lifting up our hips into our downward facing dog. Paddling out the legs here if you need, so just bending into one leg, then the other. Finding that space in the back of the legs. And then finding a bit of stillness. Lifting our hips nice and high, really using our core, lifting our hips. Helping to find a space in the back of the legs. And then we're going to shift our weight forward into plank, full plank. Then lowering our knees, we're going to take that movement again. So pushing back with our hands. So our hips are back towards our feet. And then slowly lifting up, straightening the arms, working on straightening the legs. Pausing in our down dog. And then coming up onto your tiptoes, we're going to ripple forward again, back into our plank. Lowering the knees, shifting the weight back, and then lifting the hips. So we're going to do this little flow a few times. Just really opening up the backs of the legs, finding a nice little flowy movement, little ripple effect coming forward. If you want it to be a little bit stronger, rather than lowering the knees to the mat, we can just hover the knees and still take that same movement. So taking it nice and slowly. Pausing if you need to in your down dog, trying to open up the backs of the legs a bit more maybe. Maybe taking a couple more. And then we'll all meet in our plank or half plank if you have your knees on the ground. We're going to lower all the way down to the mat. Ready for our back bend. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, firming up the legs, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. So our kneecaps will lift, our thighs, like the kind of lower end of our thighs might lift off the floor. As we inhale, let's just peel our chest up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And again, inhale up. Exhale down. Bringing your hands underneath your forehead. So one hand on top of the other, elbows out to the side. Making sure our legs are nice and firm. As we inhale, we're going to lift up our chest, lift up our arms, our elbows. And then we're slowly going to kind of move our head towards the left, over to center, then over to the right. So using all of our back muscles here, trying not to let our elbows dip. Over to the left, over to the right. And one more time, over to the left, over to the right. And relax. Maybe giving our hips a little shiggle from side to side, just resting your cheek on your hands. Good. Okay, bringing our forehead back onto our hands. As we inhale, lifting up our head, lifting up our chest, lifting up our arms. This time we're going to stretch our arms out to the side, so fingertips and airplane arms. Breathing here. And then bringing our hands to point back away from us down towards our toes. If we want, we can lift up our legs as well, toes pointing back and away from us. And if we want, we can also clasp our hands here, straightening the arms into our full locust position. Breathing here. And release. Just letting your head come down to the mat. Again, giving your hips a little wiggle from side to side. Ooh. Good. Hands underneath the shoulders. We are coming up into our downward facing dog. So either coming up through hands and knees or pushing up into our plank and then lifting up our hips nice and high, all meeting in our downward facing dog. Stretching out our back here, so lengthening through the spine, letting the head hang heavy. And still having that kind of feeling of tucking your tailbone. So even if it's a minute movement, tucking your tailbone will help to lengthen the bottom of your back, stretching out those muscles. Let's lift our right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog, and step the right leg forward, lowering the back knee down to the ground, coming into our low lunge. Reaching the arms up high, and then bringing our hands into our prayer position. Just making sure our right knee's over our right ankle, left toes pointing backwards, and really powering down and in with your legs. So you're really kind of strong foundation. Clasping our hands, pushing our hands away from us like we did when we were sat on the floor earlier. Reaching up. Relaxing the shoulders and just watching we're not kind of dipping into the back here, so keeping our core strong. Hands come out wide, clasping the hands behind us, coming into our little back bend. Releasing, reaching up to the sky, nice big inhale, and exhale down to our prayer position, clasping the hands again, this time going straight up. And we're going to twist over to the right. So try not to twist with your shoulders here, twisting kind of through your torso. Don't worry if it's a very little mini twist. It's much harder when our arms are in the air. Back through to center and then twisting over to the left. Good. Reaching up, releasing the hands. Hands come down, frame that front foot. We'll step back to plank, take our vinyasa. So either full plank or half plank, coming into cobra or upward dog, your choice. And then making our way into our downward facing dog. So same again on the left side, let's lift our left leg high, three-legged dog. Stepping that left leg as far forward as we can, always just shiggling it forward with your hand if you need to. Reaching up high into our low lunge, and then bringing our hands down into our namaste, our prayer position. Clasping the hands the other way this time, reaching out and up. Extending out through the sides, clasping our hands behind us, squeezing the shoulder blades together, maybe coming into a little bit of a back bend if that feels okay for us. And then releasing, inhaling up. Back down through our prayer position, clasping the hands, pushing forward and up. This time twisting to the left first, strong through those legs. Back through center and twisting to the right. Trying to keep our hips facing forward as we twist. Releasing the hands, reaching up to the sky. Framing the front foot, taking a vinyasa. The vinyasas are always optional, remember, you can always rest in child's pose or come straight into downward facing dog. And we'll all meet in our down dog, taking a couple of breaths here. And then looking forward, walking, stepping, hopping up to the front of the mat. Coming into a halfway lift. So feet hip distance apart, flat back. So reaching forward to the crown of our head. Our hands can come to our thighs or our shins or the floor. And then exhale, forward fold, letting the head hang heavy. You can come into a ragdoll here if you like. Holding onto opposite elbows, swaying from side to side. And then releasing the hands down to the mat, coming all the way up to standing, uncurling. Lifting the hands up to the sky when we get here. Coming down through our namaste position. Clasping the hands, pushing our hands away from us. Curving into the back this time, so really feeling that stretch across the shoulder blades. And then as we lift up, straightening up our spine. Reaching the hands all the way down, clasping behind us into our back bend. This time we're going to bend into the knees, forward fold, keeping our hands clasped if we can. Letting the head hang heavy here. And then bringing ourselves up just halfway, releasing the hands, sweeping the hands down and forward, coming into our squat. So feet hip distance apart this time, hands reaching forward, and again tucking that tailbone so you can get that length in the lower back. If we want a little bit extra, coming up onto our tiptoes. Strong through the legs, seeing if you can squat a little bit lower. And then maybe still on our tiptoes, coming all the way up to standing. And then coming back into our namaste, heels come down to the floor. Okay, all of that, clasping the other way, reaching forward, curving into our spine, inhaling up. Releasing down, stretching out, squeezing the shoulder blades together, clasping the hands behind us, working on straightening those arms, maybe bringing the heels of the hands together. And then bending into the knees, forward fold. Breathing here. Bringing ourselves up just halfway, releasing the hands, sweeping the hands down and forward, coming into our Utkatasana, tucking that tailbone down, extending through the arms, see if we can sink the hips a little lower. Can we come up onto our tiptoes again? And then coming up to standing, maybe still in our tiptoes. Reaching up and then coming back down. We'll bring our hands onto our hips, coming into a forward fold. So straight legs this time, folding from the hips, really pulling up our thighs towards our hips, so engaging our legs. Don't worry about how far forward you come, but we want our legs to be straight. So we're going to release all the hamstrings down the backs of the knees into the calf. If your hands reach the floor, then great. If not, we can either rest them onto the shins or keep the hands on the hips, just really firming up those legs. Okay. Coming into our halfway lift, so reaching forward with the crown of the head, flattening the back, and the hands come down to the mat. Let's take a vinyasa, so stepping back to plank, lowering down to the floor. Into our back bend. And exhale, downward dog. Okay, coming into our main flow now. So lifting our right leg nice and high, and then right knee to left elbow. Right leg high, and then just bringing the right knee into the chest. We're going to pause here, really squeeze that knee into the chest, curving into the spine, and then lowering the foot down onto the mat, coming into our low lunge. So lowering that back knee down, sweeping the arms up high into our back bend, so reaching up and back with the arms. As we come forward, we're going to rock on that front heel, so straightening out the front leg, bringing our hands either to the mat or we can rest it on our front shin, finding a stretch through the hamstring here. Half Hanumanasana, this is called, half split position. Bringing our weight forward onto that front foot, planting the left hand down, reaching up to the sky with the right into our twist. Tucking that back toe under, lifting up that back leg, straightening it if we can, and then coming up with our hands into our high twist. Right arm down, left arm up and over, pivoting into our warrior two. So left foot comes parallel to the back edge of the mat. And we'll vinyasa, cartwheel the arms over, stepping back through our plank. Lowering down to mat, into your back bend, and downward dog. Left hand side, so left leg reaches high, three-legged dog, left knee to right elbow, left leg high, and then squeezing that left knee up to the chest, doming through the back, planting the foot down, coming into our low lunge, into our back bend. And then as we bring our kind of hands forward, our hips come back, straightening up that front leg. Don't worry if that knee's a little bit bent, that's absolutely fine, as long as you can feel a stretch through the back of your leg. That's all we're after. Bringing our weight back forward, right hand comes beside the left foot, left fingertips up to the sky. Breathing, tucking the back toe under, lifting that back knee up, seeing if we can straighten that back leg, and then using our legs, using our core, lifting ourselves up into our twist. Good. Cartwheeling the arms, so the left arm comes down, right arm comes up, pivoting on that back foot at the same time, gracefully landing into our warrior two. So arms shoulder height, really reaching out and away with our fingertips. Checking that front knee is directly over the front foot. And we'll take our vinyasa, cartwheeling the arms down. Stepping back to our plank. Or we can always come straight into our down dog or rest in child's pose. Everyone meeting in our downward facing dog and back to the right side. So lifting that right leg high, right knee to left elbow, right leg high. Bringing the knee up into the chest, squeezing the knee in as close as you can to the chest, and then stepping it through into our low lunge. Reaching the arms up into our back bend. And we're going to bring the weight forward, rock back on that heel into our half Hanumanasana. Hamstring stretch. Bringing the weight forward into that front foot, left hand down, right hand up to the ceiling. Tucking the back toe under, lifting up that back leg, powering up into our high twist. And then right arm down, left arm up into our warrior two. Relaxing the shoulders down here. And just making sure our shoulders are above our hips. So watch we're not reaching forward, pulling the weight back. Okay, we're going to turn the right toes in. So our feet are parallel
And then we're just going to turn the heels in. So we want our toes at 10 to 2 position. Coming into our goddess squat. So bending into the knees, hands come to prayer. Clasping the hands, let's push the palms out in front of us. And then reaching up with our hands. This time we're going to come into a side stretch. So side stretching over to the left, strong through the legs, back up to center, over to the right. Back up to center, we're going to take our little twist over to the left. And a little twist over to the right. Good. Back to center, release the hands, clasp them behind us. Stretching out the hands behind us. As we do so, we're going to straighten the legs, bring the feet back to parallel, and then fold forward. So hands come up and over. So wide-legged forward fold with the hands clasped up and overhead. Let's bring ourselves up halfway. So we're finding our flat back. So our kind of back is parallel to the floor. Releasing the hands, and let's come into our aeroplane arms. So arms stretched out either side, trying to keep them the same height as your shoulders. And then we're going to bring the right hand down onto the floor in front of our head, and then left hand up to the ceiling. So coming into our prasarita twist. Breathing here. And then slowly, let's go to the other side. So keeping the arms outstretched, left hand down, right arm up. Good. Coming back to outstretched arms, hands to the hips. Inhaling, lifting ourselves up. Right foot points forward, back into our warrior two. And cartwheel down, vinyasa. Good. Left hand side, so left leg high. Left knee to right elbow. Left leg high. Left leg steps forward, squeezing that knee into the chest, stepping into our lunge, reaching up and back. Coming into our hamstring stretch. Planting that left foot back down, right hand next to the left foot, reaching up with the left fingertip. Tucking the back toe under, lifting up that back knee, lifting ourselves up into our high twist. Strong through the legs. Let's cartwheel our arms into our warrior two. So left arm comes forward, right arm back. And then turning those left toes in first of all. Then bringing the heels in slightly so our feet are at a diagonal. Coming down into our goddess squat. Clasping the hands, pushing out in front. Then up to the sky. Side stretch over to the left. Back to center, over to the right. Back to center, twist, just turn and twist to the left. And then twist to the right. Back to center, good. Reaching the hands wide, clasping them behind you. Turning the feet to parallel, straightening up your legs. Forward fold. Breathing here, strong through the legs. So no matter if the knees are bent or maybe straight or slightly bent, keeping the legs engaged. Bringing yourself up so you are parallel, so your torso is parallel with the floor, releasing the hands into our aeroplane arms. Then left hand comes down to the floor, right arm up to the sky. And then slowly keeping our arms extended, coming the other way. Back to our aeroplane arms, hands to our hips, bringing ourselves up, turning the left toes out, cartwheeling down. Vinyasa. Breathing when we get to our down dog. really stretching out the spine. Remember, resting in child's pose here is always an option if you just need to take a couple of moments. Okay, on to our last round. So right leg high, right knee to left elbow, and high. Stepping the right leg forward, low lunge, back bend, and then into our hamstring stretch. Pulling those toes back towards you. Again, doesn't matter if your knee is bent or straight, just really engaging that foot. Planting that right foot back down, left hand next to it, right fingertips up. Tucking the back toe under, lifting up the back leg. Coming into our twist. Strong through the legs, strong through the core. And then right arm down, left arm up and back, warrior two. Turning the right toes in, bringing the heels slightly in, into our goddess, sinking down, maybe a little bit lower than before. Clasping the hands, pushing out and away, reaching up. Side stretch. And to the other side. Back to center, turn. And to the other side. Releasing the hands, clasping behind us, straightening up the legs as we push out the heels so the feet are parallel. Forward fold. Lifting ourselves up, keeping our legs engaged, releasing our hands, aeroplane arms, really reaching out with our fingers, strong through the core, strong through the shoulders. Right hand comes down towards the floor, left hand up towards the ceiling. And then the other way, left hand down, right arm up. Bringing the right hand down, hands come to the hips. Nice big inhale, lifting up to standing. Coming back to our warrior two, so just pointing those right toes forward, bending into the front knee. And then pivoting, finding our high lunge. So having the hips face forward, back heel lifted, arms reaching up to the ceiling. And then we're going to take our weight onto our front leg, lifting up the back leg, coming into our warrior three. So both legs strong and straight here, lifting up that back leg up to hip height if we can. You can point the toe or flex the toe. And then slowly come up to standing, trying to keep that left leg up off the floor, reaching up, bringing the left knee in front of us, hands up to the sky, lifting that left knee as high as we can. And then we're going to take a big step back with that left foot coming back into our high lunge. Good. Take a vinyasa. Meeting in our down dog. Okay, last time, left hand side, lifting that left leg high, left knee to right elbow, left leg high, stepping it forward, lowering the back knee down into our low lunge with a back bend, and into our hamstring stretch. Bringing our weight back forward, right arm down, left hand up to the sky. Tucking the back toe under, lifting that back knee up, stretching out through that back leg, strong through the legs as we lift ourselves up to our high twist. And then cartwheeling the arms, left hand comes forward, right arm comes back, finding our warrior two, strong warrior two. Turning the left toes in so they are parallel, and then just shifting the heels in, coming straight into our goddess squat. Clasping the hands, pushing the palms away and up. Side stretch. And other side. Strong through those legs, back to center. Turn to one side, turn to the other. Reaching out with our hands, clasping the hands behind us, straightening up the legs. Bringing the feet back to being parallel and forward fold. Lifting your torso up so we are parallel with the floor, releasing the hands, sweeping the arms to our aeroplane arms. Left hand comes down, right arm up. And then slowly back the other way, so right arm down, left arm up. Bringing the left hand down, hands to the hips, nice big inhale, lift ourselves up. Turn the left toes out to the front of the mat, finding our warrior two. Pivoting into our high lunge. Hips facing forward, bend in the front knee. And taking our weight into our front leg, straightening up that front leg, straightening up our back leg into our warrior three. And slowly bringing ourselves to upright. Can we keep that right leg up off the mat, keeping our left leg strong and straight, reaching up, grounding down through that left foot, lifting that right knee as high as we can. And then we're going to take a big step back with the right foot, high lunge. And take a vinyasa, last vinyasa, stepping back to plank, lowering down, slowly controlled into our back bend. And up to our downward facing dog. So noticing how the legs are feeling, how the back is feeling, how the shoulders are feeling. Breathing here. And then we're going to bring the knees down nice and wide, coming back into our child's pose. So toes together, melting the chest down towards the mat. Letting the hips relax. Letting the shoulders relax, letting the neck relax. Walking our hands slowly back towards us. So back where we started, we're going to shift the hips over to the right. So again, just bringing our right foot just next to our left thigh, reaching the arms up. Exhaling into our twist, so left hand to the right knee, right hand behind us. So just once each side this time, seeing if we can maybe twist a little further. Nice big inhale up to center and over into our side stretch. Inhaling up to center. Hands come down in front of us. Come up onto our knees and then just kind of slide the feet over to the other side. When we get there, inhaling up. Exhale down into our twist. Keeping that length through the spine, remember, so really reaching up through the crown of your head and then twist. Breathing. Back to center, nice big inhale as we reach up. And exhale into the side stretch and then breathing once we're there. Good, inhaling up to center. And letting the hands come down. We're going to bring our legs out in front of us into a wide-legged seated position. Toes pulling back towards you. If the knees are bent, that's absolutely fine, but we want the legs to be engaged. So bringing kind of toes pointing up and pulling back towards you. Again, reaching up. Bringing the hands down in front of you. Now, I know this can be a very difficult position for some people, including myself. So don't worry if you don't come forward. A lot of people can come forward very, very easily. So sometimes just having the hands down on the floor or just kind of reaching a little bit forward can really can be a big stretch for you. So just finding your forward fold here, trying to keep the spine straight. So we don't want to be curving into our back, trying to keep kind of upright, leading with the chest. So even just sitting upright, that's absolutely fine. That can be a really good stretch. So just finding your stretch. Then we're all going to reach up to the sky, turn towards the left leg. And then come down over the left leg. This might be slightly easier coming down at an angle. It might not be. Again, just finding your stretch wherever your hands fall. But trying to keep that right leg engaged, both toes pulling back towards you. Not letting your feet go floppy. Okay, back to center. Inhale up. Turn to the other side. And folding over the other leg. Watching your feet don't go floppy, engaging your legs. Nobody likes a floppy foot. And then coming back to center, bending up your knees, bringing your knees together, curling yourself over your thighs. And then we'll just take a little boat pose before we come down to lying. So coming straight into our boat pose, let's squeeze our legs together, toes pointing forward, fingertips pointing forward, strong through the core. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. We'll do it just one more time because I'm running out of time. Lifting the legs up. Maybe try and straighten the legs this time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Good. Curling your spine over your thighs, just letting your head hang down to your knees, fully relaxing. And then we'll come down to lying, so shiggling yourself forward if you need, reaching forward with your hands. Slowly, slowly lowering down. Let's find that curve in the lower back. Even kind of pausing at little stages as we come down. So really working each part of your core, trying to let each vertebrae come down inch by inch. And eventually lying back down on the floor. Let's squeeze the knees into the chest. Take a little rock and roll around. Massaging the spine, back of the hips, into the mat. And then we're going to come into our twists. So you can take whichever variation of twist works for you. If you want to follow what I'm doing, I'm going to keep a hold of the right leg, extend the left leg out to the end of the mat. And then as I bring the right knee over, I'm going to shift the hips over to the right hand side slightly. So we want to keep our spine in a straight line and then slowly guide the right knee over, bringing the right hand at shoulder height. If you want to take your eagle legs or if you want to keep your knees together, by all means, different twists work for different people, but just try and keep your spine straight. So always like shift your hips a little to compensate for the twist. Breathing here, relaxing, releasing. Fully letting go of any tension around your lower back, especially into your middle back. And slowly bringing yourself back to center. If you want to stay a little bit longer, please do. When we're ready, coming onto the other side, so just taking the other leg. In whatever twist variation you are doing, just remembering to shift the hips over to the left this time before coming into your twist. I know some people really love staying in twists quite a long time, so don't come out of it just because I say so. If you're enjoying your twist, you stay there. Letting the breathing be slow and relaxed. Softening around the face. Releasing your shoulders into the ground as well.
Just watching your shoulders aren't lifting. Using your exhales to fully melt into your twist. And when you are ready, coming back through to center, shifting the hips back in alignment. We'll just take 1 or 2 bridges before we come into our Shavasana. So bringing your feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. Let's slowly peel off our hips up into the air, all the way up into our shoulders. Taking a bridge after twisting is a really good way to neutralize the spine. So it's always good to finish. If you're ever doing your own practice, always finishing with a bridge just to neutralize everything is a great thing to do. Taking a couple of rounds, lifting all the way up onto your shoulders and then slowly lowering back down. Lengthening your spine as much as you can as you lower down before coming into our Shavasana, extending your legs out to the end of the mat. When you are ready, if you want to take a couple more bridges, if that feels nice, then please do so. You might still be in your twist. Enjoy. But for those who are coming into Shavasana, extending the legs out, letting the feet flop out to the side. Let's bring our arms nice and wide, palms facing up to the sky, or we can have our hands on our belly if that feels more grounding for us. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit towards the chest, just to make sure we have the length in the back of our neck. And fully releasing down. Sighing it out. Using your exhales as to release your tension, release your tightness. Just noticing any sensations in the body, any tingling. Any kind of warmth. Any sensations at all. Or maybe you're just feeling fully relaxed, fully letting go. Letting your legs be really heavy. Letting your whole thigh, your calf, your foot fully sink into the mat. Feeling the weight around your hips, melting down. And then letting all up your spine, through your lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulder blades. Soften, relax, release. Allowing your arms to be heavy, all the way down to your hands, your fingers, just letting your fingers curl. Releasing any tension around your shoulders, your neck, up into your scalp, softening all around your hairline, your eyebrows, the skin around your temples, your forehead, your cheeks, and releasing your jaw, maybe letting your lips just part slightly, allowing your tongue to relax. Letting the whole body soften. When we are ready, we will start taking a little bit of movement into our fingers and toes. Taking a slightly longer breath in and a longer breath out. Making our way into our pencil stretch. Stretching a bit of life back into the muscles and then bringing the knees into the chest. Coming to rest in our little ball onto either side, left or right. Maybe bringing our arm underneath our head for a support for our head, for our neck. And then just placing the other hand on the floor just in front of your chest. And then using that hand to gently push you back up into your seated position. So making your way to your comfy seat, be it kneeling, legs out in front of you or cross-legged, wherever you are, finding a kind of grounding sensation through your sit bones, through your legs. Lengthening up through your spine, all the way through the back of the neck, out of the top of the head. Be taking a little shoulder roll, pulling the shoulders back and down, and then bringing your hands into your prayer position and opening your eyes. Namaste.